Listen to the show on iHeartRadio from outside. It's like somebody's putting me in a sleeper hold over here. Outside Ohio. Oh, Jesus. I keep thinking it's Friday, and I so desperately wish it was.
It's your show, man. Do whatever you want. Call it now.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, let's. If you listen somewhere else, let me know where. Chuck listens in Carrollton, Georgia. Nate is in Rockford, Illinois. Phil is in Auburn, Alabama. War Eagle. Nick and Cora are our new bureau chiefs in Golden Valley, Arizona. And Catherine listens in Tampa. Oh, I didn't play this. Let me play this clip that Bill sent me. Along the same lines as our own Poundcake. You want to set this up?
Yeah, so I listen to a podcast that my buddy does called The Middle of Somewhere, Chad Daniels and Cy Amundsen. And Chad Daniels is a very smart guy, very funny comedian. He's actually in Mensa, and he was talking about going to a NASCAR race, and he said this.
Because that's what the jack man has to carry. He carries 2 tires and a jack. Jumps over the wall. He kind of drops the 2 tires to the people that are replacing them, and then he jacks the car up in one fail swoop. Just bing.
One fail swoop.
One fail swoop. And I heard that and I was like, it's not one fatal swoop.
Yeah, Poundcake said one fatal swoop.
But it's still not right. And I asked Chad about it, and he's like, oh, I spell it right. I must have just got my words caught in my throat or something. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And he's like, I'll take my lashes on that one, though.
Huh.
But I just thought it was more of a encouraging clip to play for Poundcake because he's in Mensa. Do you know what Mensa is?
Medicine something.
Go ahead.
Medicine.
You got like 6 more letters.
Institute, scientific, academic.
It's not Mensa.
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 He just did MISA. He spelled Misa.
No, what's Mensa?
Well, it's also not an acronym. So you could have said anything and it would have been
This
wrong.
is why I wanted to do this.
Yeah, what's Mensa?
It's like the high IQ society.
I was gonna say there were some kids in my school. They were Mensa, but they were also in a different club for like engineering. What's that called?
I don't know. At your school,
Are
a
you
club
talking about,
for
like,
engineering?
STEM type stuff?
STEM.
Okay.
STEM.
Oh,
STEM
okay.
stands for something. I forget what STEM stands.
Let's figure out if you can guess what STEM stands for.
No, I forget.
This is easier.
Think of the things. It is easier because there's only 4 words.
And they are kind of all related. You got this.
Think of what smart people are studying. STEM
Engineering.
programs.
It's like science,
Mary just gave you one.
Hey.
technology, engineering, mechanics, or
Oh, so close. Come on. What's the subject you use to do all
Mathematics.
this? There you
Hey.
go. Look at that.
Okay, so STEM. I
He
was
can't be
mistaking
taught.
STEMs with Mensa. My bad. But yeah.
Misa.
Mensa, you have to be in the 98th percentile.
Yeah.
I'm in Densa.
There's like there's Mensa books you can study. Densa, you son of a bitch.
Chad Daniels was going to therapy, and he had a therapist that was condescending to him. And he goes, what, do you think you're in Mensa? And he's like, I'm not.
I remember
And then
you told this story.
And he went and got into Mensa just so he could rub it in his therapist's face. He's like, also, I'm going to find a new therapist.
I was going to say that should have been move number 1,
Yeah.
and then just for his own edification, maybe get into Mensa.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Mensa books you can study and things. And
So he's a real smart guy, but even a smart guy like him can use the wrong word. So I don't want you to be discouraged by your Poundcake-isms. Maybe words aren't your strong suit, but maybe you are in Mensa. Maybe
What if
you
he
could get
did?
into Mensa.
What if Cody was the
He should
highest
try.
IQ of anyone
There's
on
got to
the
be
show?
an online Mensa.
Also, you're in a
test
great
over
line
there,
of work if words aren't your strong point. But yeah, try to get into Mensa. Why not?
what do I got
There's
to
no
do?
doubt. You take the Mensa test.
too. Online Mensa practice test.
Yeah, I've got a Mensa practice book somewhere.
Okay.
You can. I'll bring it for you. You can look through that.
Okay.
My family, we have a very active family group chat. And my sister made us all download this app a couple weeks ago, maybe a few months ago now. That was essentially an IQ test app. And we all took it and compared our IQs. And of course, 28-hour workday was like, I would have gotten a higher score, but one of the questions was wrong. And we're like, it wasn't wrong, Kyle. That's not what happened. You answered the question wrong. No, their answer, blah, blah. I was like, you're the worst. You're literally the worst.
It's also an opportunity to learn something that you didn't know before.
Right.
Rather than try to convince everybody that these questioners are incorrect.
The computer program is wrong.
That's right. That's the real artificial intelligence.
It's biased.
Yeah. You have to have a minimum 132 IQ to get into Mensa. I don't know if it's even a matter of taking a test. I think you can. But if you have anything lower than a 132, you can't get into Mensa.
I forget what I even scored on like the ACT. I don't even remember what
Probably close to a 132.
But they don't do it like that.
No. I think he got a 132 on the SAT. I think that's the one.
Yeah, I don't know.
There you go. Bill's not a paperwork guy. Didn't go to college.
It's okay.
He is the smartest one of all of us because he didn't have to take those stupid tests.
And I don't have any student loans.
Right?
Mine are going to get forgiven. Don't worry. I had someone at my show last night say that. I was talking about selling fee picks, and she was like, I'm about to do that. I have student loans. I was like, bro, just chill on that. I was like, don't start paying those back.
I was Biden's not going to
forgive him.
But even if he doesn't forgive him, he's not going to make us start paying now. We're too close to midterms.
Right?
he's let us go this entire time without not paying them. So he's going to wait till...
He's not going to change now.
He's going to wait till midterms to make us pay him. That's a bad look.
I told her, I was like, that's how poor people handle things. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. You opened a credit card in 2018? Oh, you're almost done. Man, that thing's going to fall off in 2 years. Don't start paying that back yet. Like, come on.
It's going to fall off.
It'll fall off the credit report.
You start buying houses around the fact that you declared bankruptcy in the last 7 years.
Right.
Like, oh, wow, I can finally get my first home.
Be all right.
Is that what happens? Bankruptcy burns off, and then you are back in the...
I don't know if it ever burns off. I think it shows that you had
but
bankruptcy.
It's like not supposed to affect
it doesn't affect things
after a
like,
certain amount of time.
It doesn't affect it as much after 6
you
or
kinda
7
did your
years,
time,
and then
right?
after 10 years, it is gone.
But isn't that just like a felony, though? Like, they say, oh, it's not going to be on your record or something like that after.
No, it's gone. It just takes a decade.
Yeah.
They're like, this isn't something we're going to forget about and be like, remember that one time you forgave all my debt? I'm gonna do it again.
We're gonna put you in. We're gonna put you in timeout for a while.
Right.
We don't want you in the mix with all the other people that are.
How many times can you declare bankruptcy?
As many
as you want. Once every couple years.
How long you think you're gonna live? I mean, if it takes 7 or 10 years, depending on if you file Chapter 11 or Chapter 7 or whatever they are.
My parents filed Chapter 7. That's all I ever heard about. Chapter 7.
That's where it gets like they're not even dealing with creditors, right?
They're like wipe it all out.
That's the 10-year one. I think Chapter 11 is 7 years because you have to figure it out with your creditors.
Exactly.
If you want it wiped clean, you want to go to zero. They're like, but if you're in that position, you're like, send me up for 15 years.
I have nothing. Take I am behind 8 months on everything. Please do not condemn my house.
You can have all of my zero.
Right.
Now, that's because your dad gambled so much?
Yes.
Because he had like a good manufacturing job, right?
He worked in a factory. Yeah. Him and my mom both.
But those were traditionally back then, those were good jobs.
Yeah. Him and my mom were both factory workers. My mom got hurt, and so she didn't work anymore. She was on workman's comp or unemployment or something. And then my dad worked, but it wasn't until a couple years ago that I really figured out how severe his gambling problem was.
I would think that you would be. I would think that you, not accounting for brain, whatever.
Chemistry.
Yeah, I would think that you would be repulsed by gambling.
Well, here's what it is that I was always in the camp of, as long as you spend what you can afford, there's nothing wrong with that. If this is my hobby.
But he was not doing that.
No, but I also didn't know that. I just knew my dad liked to gamble. He never told me how much he made. He never told me how in debt he was. I never knew that.
But you knew like that you guys never had money growing up.
But I thought it was because we had 7 people on one person's salary.
I see.
Which is also true because my mom didn't work for a while and my dad was the only one making money. So even if he made $60,000 a year in the 90s, which is a lot of money, 7 people, that's a lot of people to take care of on one salary. So we just assumed that's what it was.
7 people
5 kids, 2 adults.
Oh yeah. I keep I because they're not around. I just always think of you and your sisters. I forget about the brothers.
Yeah,
right.
We had 5 kids and 2 adults, and so I just always assumed it was because we only had a 1-income household, and it wasn't honestly until like 2019 that I realized the severity of my dad's gambling, and that a lot of the reason why I grew up the way that I did was because of him. And it put a whole new reason on why I had issues with my dad, because I was like naive to it.
He was just always trying to hit it big to take care of the situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I can just bet this, then one big hit at the track, and I can take all my debt. But he would go there and spend his entire paycheck. He would get paid Friday, cash his check at the racetrack. This is before casinos were in Ohio.
Oh, they'll cash your paycheck
at the... Of course they'll cash your paycheck.
We will take whatever you want to give us, right?
And they charge you a fee.
It's not our fault that, so it's like a
10%
high-end...
10% or something.
It's a high-end check cashing joint.
Yeah, they charge you a percentage.
Profits, they would have put a fence around that water retention pool
pond
a long time ago.
The horse drowned in?
How often would he actually hit?
We wouldn't know, because the thing about gambling is that even when you win, you lose.
Because he'd gamble it all into something else.
Even if he left that day, say he hit big, he hit for $5,000. If he came home with $5,000, he might put $1,000 or $2,000 towards bills,
and
then
never
he would take the other 3 back.
He never said to your mom, "Let's move into a drainage pipe."
Not once. I think because there was too many kids. There's a limit on the number of under 18 in the drainage pipe.
It's like a hotel room. You can only have 3 adults, 4 kids max.
All right.
This drainage pipe is not going to be able to accommodate 2 adults and 5 kids.
Dude,
you and him did like a year ban from the casino once together, right?
I did.
Oh,
he did not.
Didn't he say he was going to?
No.
Okay.
So this was in 2017, I think. We made a pact where I said I wasn't sober yet, and my dad hated. I was an alcoholic. He was always telling me I needed to quit drinking. So I told my dad, I will quit drinking if you quit gambling. And he said he would do it. So we made that pact, and we each made it like 2 months. And then the one day we both looked at each other and we're like, "You want to go to the casino?" And he's like, "You want to get drunk?" I was like, we went to the casino. I got hammered. I was so drunk.
He's the worst wingman ever.
Oh my God. We enabled each other so bad, because even with all the issues we had together, we would be not speaking for 8 months. And then he'd call me and be like, "Want to go downtown?" And I'd be like, he knew I liked to drink and gamble. So I was like, "All right, fine." But so we'd be like, not talking to each other, but gambling together.
Because he knew the admission price of him getting to gamble was you getting drunk.
Exactly.
Well, this makes sense, too, why you're going through so much grief, because he was, in your parental structure, your mom was always there, but she did different, she served different purposes for you. Your dad was definitely more of your friend when it came to parents.
Here's what it is. He was my friend, but because we both had addictions.
Yeah.
If he wasn't a gambling addict, I don't think we would have hung out. And
I
mean
but
that
because you
wholeheartedly.
had those addictions, you at least had some time
But
together.
that's a real messed up thing to bond with your father.
I agree. But it's, you had it.
Well, and his addiction was so bad to gambling that he did put up with an alcoholic daughter, because I would get thrown out of the casino. Or the night that we broke our...
It was like Requiem for a Dream without the double-headed dildo.
Dude, the one night that we broke our pact and we went, I was so drunk I had my shoes off. I was sitting by the door because they wouldn't let me in. I'm like screaming for my dad to come
how
get
long
me.
had the pact lasted?
Like 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah.
So it was a good run.
Yeah.
And you knew he wasn't gambling.
He said that he wasn't. All I can do is take him at his word.
Because being drunk, you can notice outwardly.
Correct.
Yeah.
You don't ever know if somebody's gambling.
Right.
That's why it's such a dangerous disease.
Oh.
I know someone that...
It's the one you can't see.
They banned themselves from all the casinos, and then they rented a car.
To drive out of state.
To drive out of state and go and gamble.
I just don't know how you can't scratch that itch literally with scratcher tickets.
You can, but I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to buy one $20 scratcher ticket. I'm going to buy $200 worth.
Oh, the same amount of money in scratchers. Yes. Yeah, but I would think you might have more of a chance. No?
Don't say that.
You're not going to win. No, he's not going to convince me, trust me.
I don't have a pact with her, Bill.
Yeah.
I'm not breaking any pact.
Honestly, the big test was when we had our family vacation in Michigan, I had to drive through Detroit to get home.
Yep.
My mom stopped at MGM.
And that's a gamble.
Right. I didn't know if I was going to make it.
Driving through Detroit is a gamble, so technically.
No, my mom was like, listen, I'm going to stop at MGM if you want to go. And she goes, I know you're doing your thing, but if it's a one time, if you feel like you're going to, but I don't want to trigger something in you that's going to have you drive to Pittsburgh every weekend.
Right.
And I really was going to stop with
I like
her.
how suppressing your addiction is doing your thing.
Yeah.
I know you're doing your thing.
Doing your thing.
You're on like a kick right now.
Mary, we know you think you're better than us right now, but if you wanted to stop and be with the family and come and have fun.
What are you,
That's my
too
whole
good
thing.
to...
Yes. Everyone in my brothers think that bettering yourself is gay. Like, I'd be like, oh, I'm on a diet. Pfft, gay. Like, nice. You know?
I'm on the gay diet. Me and Poundcake both. Oh, we're going to look so good.
But yeah, my 100% my dad and I's relationship was fueled through addiction. That's all it was. So you would think I'd be adverse to it, but I never spent money that I didn't have. And then earlier this year, January, February, March, I started to spend that money that I didn't have. And then I was like, okay, there's a problem. And then it was like, oh my God, I'm becoming my father. And then it was this whole thing that led up to me eventually banning myself.
Yeah, I get that.
Because before it was like, I know what I'm doing. I got a grip on this. What's $50 here and there? I'm using my free play. Look at me go.
It's free money.
You know?
Wow.
I broke down to my boyfriend sobbing, crying. He's like, what did you do? He thought I cheated on him. I was like, I don't want to be my dad. He's like, what the hell? Because I came home at like 1:30 in the morning, like crying.
He said, did you cheat on me? No.
He really did. He's like, I thought you were going to tell me you cheated on me or like something happened and you were leaving. And the first words out of my mouth are, I don't want to be my father. He's like, what the hell is going on here?
You said, he probably just looks at you like, you Santoras. Like,
Right.
I just can't.
Whatever.
Hey, I'm sure he gets a lot of entertainment going to like your family gatherings.
Dude, that guy's my rock.
Like the boyfriends that I've taken to like my family, they love my family and my family loves them.
Yeah.
Like all of my boyfriends, my mom's like, how's so-and-so doing? How's so-and-so doing? I'm like, they're gone. They're not coming back.
Right. They, all the spouses, all the in-laws say that they need a support group for being married to a Santora.
Yeah,
They're like, we only have each other, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
they've got their own little Mensa
own little group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Santora adjacent.
Yeah, Santora by marriage.
All right, I'm going to have that last keyword for you at 5:30. Last one today to go fuel yourself. So another $1,000 on the way at 5:30. Come back from this break. You want to go see Rob Zombie and Mudvayne. That co-headline tour comes to Blossom beginning of August. So we'll come back from the break. I'll have a couple of tickets for you